Welcome back to Indigenous Insights, where we amplify Indigenous voices, stories and achievements from across the country. In today's episode, we're excited to welcome Taungurung woman Nicole Stewart, the CEO and owner of Gerribik, Australia's first Aboriginal-owned commercial laundry business. Founded by her late father, Robert Stewart, 46 years ago, Gerribik stands as a remarkable business that weaves culture and community into its services. Nicole will share her journey of building Gerribik into what it stands as today as we explore her vision as an entrepreneur. So whether you're passionate about supporting Indigenous businesses, curious about the process, or simply love hearing powerful stories of resilience and innovation, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Please introduce yourself, your mob, and tell us a bit about Gerribik.
So my name's Nicole Stewart. I'm a proud Taungurung woman from Central Victoria, and I own Gerribik Laundry Services. We've been operating for the past 46 years now. So we're Victoria's longest running Aboriginal-owned business, and we're really proud of where we're standing today. We're also Australia's First Nations owned and operated laundry service in the country.
What inspired you to take over Gerribik, and what was your vision for the business?
Look, I bought the company off my dad, and it was always known as Complete Workwear Services for many years. When I purchased it, I wanted it to be known as an Aboriginal business. So I searched my mob's book, Taungurung language book, and searched until something hit me, and Gerribik was it, because it stands for family. My dad started the business for his family. I'm growing it for my family. So it was the perfect name. You know, we've had a lot of employees that are 20 plus years, so they've become part of our family. So I just thought it was the most perfect name for the company. Look, when I decided to take the business over from Dad, I suppose I'd got more involved in the First Nations owned business landscape in Australia. I went off to the NMSDC in America with Supply Nation, and that opened up my eyes to what could happen with us First Nation owned businesses, and how if we stand up and fight for a bigger slice of the pie, that can help. You know, look, it's done wonderful things for my family. My daughter works here, my grandson works here. So for my family, yeah, fantastic. But what we can do for mob in letting them see us that we've built big businesses, and give hope to mob that they can do it too. You know, they can believe in themselves and take that chance of going out. And I've met some, look, there's so many strong women out there amongst our own mob that has just been fascinating. And unlike the traditional landscape of business, we're not competitors. We share knowledge with each other. So it's a really different landscape to operate in, and I find that exciting.
How has Gerribik adapted to market changes and industry challenges over the years?
Well, believe me, after 45 years, we've faced some severe challenges. We predominantly work in the airline space. So we suffered with the SARS virus, 9/11, planes just stopped flying, and 90% of our work disappeared on us. So that was a big part of my strategy taking the company over, was to diversify into other areas where we weren't so airline specific. So I built up our dry cleaning side. We were I won't say lucky, because we've worked hard to have our company known as a reputable company that provides good quality service at a reasonable price. So I stepped up the dry cleaning. We won the Qantas engineering contract. A few months later, we took on the Qantas corporate contract. Because of having them two contracts, that helped me in getting the Melbourne Convention Centre contract. So whatever business you're in, you're going to face challenges. Some you'll see coming, some will just jump up and bite you like 9/11 did. You've got to be able to adapt. I'm not saying I didn't sit in a corner and bawl my eyes out when COVID happened, because I thought we were gone. I honestly thought the company would disappear in that horror time, but we pivoted. We went into work we didn't do. There was a lot of laundries that wouldn't take on COVID work. I talked to my staff and went, if you're prepared to glove up and gown up with me, let's take on some work and see if we can keep us going. We took that work on and we survived COVID, barely, come out with a lot of debt at the end of it, but now we're thriving. We've worked really hard in the last couple of years to not only bring the company back to what it was pre-COVID, we're almost triple what we were back in 2020. So it's really been a scary, exciting journey, which business is.
What have been the key drivers of Gerribik's success in the commercial laundry sector?
There's a lot of people out in the business world that aren't doing things the way they should be, and our biggest thing is service. That service just seems to have disappeared. So we just don't have all the international airlines that fly into Australia. We have relationships with them because we want to be their partner in business, not just a contractor they send their work to. That was something my dad was huge on, you know. He's like, Nicole, just keep in touch with your customers because you don't have a business without the customers. Treat the staff like your family because you don't have a business without your staff. So they're two things we're incredibly big on. You know, as I said, we've changed the name because we want our staff to feel like they're part of a family. And we're regularly in contact with every customer, from, you know, $1,000 a month customer to an $80,000 a month. Doesn't make any difference. You're still a customer and you deserve to be treated with the respect and have the service provided that in our initial discussions we said we would provide. And that's what we're known for, to still provide the same service 20 years down the track, because a lot of our customers have been with us for 20 plus years as well. I think when you get a business, and look, starting a business can be hard and a lot of the time there's not the money there, but when you get to the stage we're now at, it's about giving back to community. You know, my sister works for Gerribik, family violence, horrible part of our culture, I suppose, but we can help donate to things, you know, so they run drives for food, for pyjamas in winter. You know, we'll always be giving back there. We now want to look at sponsoring a student, things that we can give back to community, and that's what we all should be about, which we all are, you know. And once again, different of mob business compared to the average business out there that want to tick boxes, say, no, I work with an Aboriginal business, you know. I've recently spoke to a new person I might work with, and, you know, he come in here, he knew about Indigenous procurement, he understood my business, my drive and what I want, and how we can complement each other in different fields of laundry. You know, he does stuff completely different to what I do and vice versa, but we're like, maybe we could work together on a number of bigger projects that neither of us could take on our own, but it helps put my business out there and helps promote his business. So, and I think also mob businesses will work with each other, you know, so we're getting more and more businesses that we can work with, you know, from stationery up to any consultancy you want, to now there's Indigenous wealth we can chat with to grow whatever we're doing personally. So it's a very changing landscape out there, and I just think mob businesses do it better because we're all prepared to help each other in getting somewhere and changing the landscape of Australian businesses and going, we know what we're doing. We can do it really well. You've just got to give us a chance to do that.
What advice do you have for other Indigenous entrepreneurs looking to enter the commercial services sector?
Be brave. Be brave. If you really believe in what you've got and the service you can offer, you just got to be brave and go for it. Really, that's the thing, believing in yourself. Surround yourself with people who aren't going to try and pull you down and going, no, you can't do this, or, you know, you haven't got... enough knowledge. I left school in year 10. You know, when we went to computers, I nearly cried because I miss computers at school. But I know how to do what I've got to do. I don't know everything, and I don't care that I don't. But I surround myself with people who can help me with things, and that's where, once again, Mob put on a few things. IBA put on this wonderful program a few years back where they brought all women businesses together, and women like myself who were a bit more advanced in owning a business were paired with up-and-coming businesses, you know, so things like that where we'll share, making sure you know your taxes, understanding your profit and loss statement, understanding your balance sheet. We're all prepared to give that knowledge out, and that'll be one of the things as I slow down in here. That's the type of work I'd like to go do. You know, if IBA got something on, I'll come out, I'll talk to, you know, young women up and coming that want to build a business, because what it can give your family first is probably the most important. As well as the thrill of it, you also get a lot of downsides of it, a lot of pressure. But if you believe in you and you believe in your product or your service, just go for it. It's worth it. It is worth it when you make it.
How can corporate Australia better support and collaborate with Indigenous businesses?
I've done quite well on the corporate sector, but there's a lot more. It's not just ticking a box. It is engaging, it is working with them. I've recently started a new contract, and they have been very big. They've literally reached out to me. We know you're a First Nations owned business. We want to chat what we can do together. We had a couple of meetings, started the work. It was a very decent contract. It was a very big distance between us. And it's like, look, I can do this work, but you've got to understand, you're talking about a 7-hour round trip. So I need this charge. Before I even give you any other charge, I need this charge. So we understand that, Nicole. We know you're away from us, and we're happy to pay that charge. So, you know, don't throw work at us that's of no value. I've had a few contact me where they want me to do work and it's $100. I'm sorry, that's not worth the company's time. And I know they're trying to do the right thing, but it's also, as a business owner, I've got to assess whether it's worth it for me to go, yes, I'm working with that company, but it's just not worth it for $100. You know, if it's $10,000, well, that changes the ball game, and that's where I think government and corporate need to just be that little bit more mindful of just trying to tick that box with, sorry, but useless work in a way, because our time's valuable. We spend a lot of time and energy in doing tenders. That's a lot of work goes into that, to somehow feel you're just pushed aside in the end of all of it. So they need to step up a bit. They definitely do need to do more than just want to tick a box. You know, be involved with that company if you can. What can I do to help? You know, we had Melbourne Convention Centre during COVID. We'd started them pre-COVID. And, you know, I had them regularly ringing me, Nicole, is there anything we can do to help keep you afloat? You know, can we lend you some money? You pay back in a couple of years. That's someone stepping up, going, hey, we know you might be struggling. Is there anything we can do to help in this particular time? You know, I'm not saying I want people to throw money at me. I didn't need to accept that offer, but just to know that was a genuine offer to me was really quite amazing, to be honest with you. So I do think they need to step up their games a bit more, involve us in stuff they may be doing, you know, invite us to lunches and dinners so people can meet us and see what we do. You know, I've been to a few events where it's like, come and meet the Indigenous companies, and they don't turn up with business cards. So they're not there to really engage with us and meet with us. They're there to take 2 hours off work and say, oh, I'm going to this thing. And why wouldn't you have a business card? If you're genuinely coming there to engage with First Nations businesses, have a card. But it's quite surprising how many don't. So, step up your game, fellas, because there's a lot of us out here that really know what we're doing, and we want a bigger slice of the pie. We want our independence. We want our, it's a horrible state of the world the way it is at the moment. I'd like to think this company's still standing, so my grandson who's currently working here, he can take it over if he wants to down the track. So, if we can get this going bigger and bigger, and there's starting to be some older ladies that I know that have got businesses that will be looking to pass on to the next generation. I'm excited. Like, I wish my dad was alive to see that there's 4 generations in his business at the moment, So he'd be over the moon to know that. So, but look, I know he's up there watching, and I know he's part of the reason all this work's getting sent my direction at the moment to, so we can stand up and show everybody what can happen. And governments and corporates have got a big slice of playing that game with us. So, step up, and we're here ready to, come and prove to you what we can do.